Chapter 1. The Land Remembers. Somewhere on this land, long before banks existed, before Wall Street, before The Secret became a bestseller, the people who lived here understood something about money that we have completely forgotten. They had no word for poverty, not because they were naive, not because they hadn't experienced loss, but because they understood something about the flow of abundance that took modern neuroscience 3,000 years to catch up to. And tonight, I'm going to share it with you. But first, I need to tell you something that no one in the self-help world will say out loud, something that explains why you've tried everything, and why something still isn't working. Right now, as I speak, there is a program running inside you. A program that was installed before you were old enough to question it, before you even knew what money was. And it has one job, one single, relentless job, to make sure you never keep the money that comes to you. Tonight, we find it. Tonight, we begin to shut it down. Chapter 2. 3 people you know. Let me tell you about 3 people. You might recognize one of them. You might recognize all 3. The first person makes good money. Not great money, but good money. Enough that on paper, things should be fine. But every month, without fail, it disappears. Not on anything dramatic. Not on one big mistake. Just gone. Groceries. Subscriptions. Something the car needed. A dinner out. A thing on sale. They've budgeted. They've tracked expenses. They've done the spreadsheets. And every time the money starts to accumulate, something happens. Something always happens. And they're back to zero. The second person works harder than almost anyone they know. First one in, last one out. 2 side hustles, 3 income streams. They've read every book about wealth. They follow the right accounts. They know what compound interest is, what index funds are, what passive income should look like. And yet their income has barely moved in 3 years. They can't figure out why. They're doing everything right, and something invisible keeps pulling the ceiling down. The third person has tried the spiritual route. Vision boards. Affirmations. They read The Secret twice. They've done the 369 method, the scripting, the gratitude journals. They genuinely believed it would work. And for a moment, it felt like it was starting to. Then nothing. And when they asked why, the answer they got was always the same. You didn't believe hard enough. You weren't in alignment. You must have had a block, which made them feel worse. Because now it wasn't just that the money wasn't coming. It was their fault that the money wasn't coming. If any of those people sound familiar, this video is for you. Chapter 3. A wisdom worth honoring. Before I go any further, I want to be honest with you about something. What I'm about to share draws from the wisdom of indigenous peoples across the Americas. Traditions passed down for thousands of years through ceremony, through story, through the careful watching of natural law. I share this not as a teacher of these traditions. I am not. I share this as someone whose understanding of money and of themselves was permanently changed by studying them. These traditions don't belong to me, but the lessons they carry belong to everyone willing to listen. And tonight, I believe they have something to say specifically to you. The people who kept this wisdom alive across centuries, the Nahua of Mexico, the Andean keepers of Ayni, the Hawaiian guardians of mana, they understood one thing above all else. Abundance is not something you attract. It is something you stop blocking. And what has been blocking yours has a name. It has a shape. It has an origin. And by the end of tonight, you will know exactly what it is. And you will know exactly what to do about it. Chapter 4. Everything you've already tried. Let me ask you something. And I want you to be honest, not with me, but with yourself. How many things have you tried? The budgeting apps, the savings plans, the pay yourself first advice, the vision boards on your wall, the affirmations you said every morning for 30 days and then quietly stopped, The Secret, the law of attraction, the 369 method, the scripting journals, the meditation practices designed to raise your vibration, the therapy that helped you understand why you feel the way you do about money, but didn't actually change how money flows to you. Maybe you've tried the hustle route. More hours, more income streams, more output, hoping that if you just produced enough, the numbers would finally start to make sense. I'm not asking this to make you feel bad. I'm asking because I want you to see something clearly. You are not lazy. You are not stupid. You are not unspiritual. You are not a person who isn't good with money. You have tried, genuinely, sincerely, repeatedly tried, and something keeps not working. Here's the question no one in the personal finance world, no one in the self-help world, and no one in the spiritual community has ever asked you directly. What if the problem isn't that you're not doing enough? What if something is actively working against you, and you can't see it? Not because you're broken, not because you're cursed, not because the universe has decided you don't deserve abundance, but because something was installed in you, without your knowledge or your consent, that has been quietly, systematically pushing money away every single time it comes close. The ancient peoples of this land had a name for this. They understood that every human being carries invisible patterns, some inherited, some absorbed, some created from a single moment of fear, that determine not how much they earn, but how much they're allowed to keep. Modern psychology calls it a wealth ceiling, a subconscious maximum, the amount of money your nervous system has decided is safe for you to have. Exceed it, and something inside you activates to bring you back down, not because you want to fail, but because to the part of your brain that learned about money before you could even read, staying small feels safer than being seen. We're going to change that tonight. Chapter 5. The program that has been running your life. I want you to notice something right now. As you're listening to this, there is a voice somewhere in the back of your mind. It might sound like logic. It might sound like practicality. It might sound like your own voice telling you this is too woo-woo, or that you already know this, or that you'll come back to it later, or that this probably won't work for you specifically. That voice is not you being smart. That voice is your invisible program trying to protect itself. Because programs do that. They resist being seen. And the most sophisticated thing about your invisible program is this. It doesn't feel like a program. It feels like you. It feels like your personality, your practical nature, your hard-earned cynicism. But it isn't. It's a recording. And recordings can be stopped. Here is what we know from neuroscience. Between the ages of 2 and 7, the human brain is operating primarily in a state called theta, the same brainwave state adults reach in deep hypnosis. In that state, everything you hear, everything you observe, everything you feel around the topic of money gets written directly into your subconscious. Not filtered, not questioned, not evaluated for accuracy, just installed. A parent arguing about bills, installed. Being told we can't afford that enough times, installed. Watching someone you loved be humiliated about money, installed. Absorbing the message that rich people are selfish, or lucky, or fundamentally different from you, installed. And once installed, that program doesn't stay in the past. It runs, right now, in real time, shaping every financial decision you make, every opportunity you see or fail to see, every negotiation you win or quietly surrender, every moment money comes close, and something in you finds a reason to push it away. The ancient wisdom keepers of the Americas understood this intuitively, in a language older than neuroscience. The Nahua people of Mexico understood that the cosmos is woven from a sacred energy they called Teotl, a force that moves through all living things, including the flow of abundance. When Teotl moves freely, things grow, things come, things arrive in the right timing. But when Teotl is blocked, by fear, by inherited patterns, by unresolved energy that has nowhere to go, the flow stops. Not because the universe has abandoned you, but because something inside you has closed the channel. They didn't call it a wealth ceiling. They didn't have a word for subconscious limiting belief, but they understood the mechanism completely, and they had practices, specific, embodied, ancient practices, designed to reopen what fear had closed. Let me ask you something directly, and I want you to notice not what your mind thinks, but what your body does when I ask. When money comes to you, when you get a bonus, or close a deal, or find money you forgot you had, what is the first thing you feel? Not what you think you should feel, what you actually feel. If the honest answer is anything other than calm, open, and safe, you have an invisible program running. Maybe it's a tightening in your chest. Maybe it's an immediate urge to spend it before something goes wrong. Maybe it's a quiet voice that says this won't last, or you don't deserve this, or people like you don't end up wealthy. That is not the truth about you. That is a program. And here is what makes tonight different from every other thing you've tried. You cannot budget your way out of a program. You cannot hustle your way out of a program. You cannot manifest your way out of a program. Because the program is the very thing intercepting your manifestations. The secret failed you, not because you didn't believe hard enough. It failed you because it gave you the last step without giving you the first three. Tonight, we go back to the beginning. Chapter 6. What tonight will give you. Here is what the next 66 minutes will give you. First, you're going to identify your invisible program, not in a vague, I have limiting beliefs kind of way, in the specific, named, this is exactly what has been running in me kind of way. There are 5 of them. 5 distinct programs, each with its own origin, its own fingerprint, its own way of showing up in your financial life. And by the end of the next section, you will know with clarity which one is yours. Second, you're going to understand for the first time why everything you've tried before hasn't worked. Not because you failed, but because every strategy you used was addressing the symptom, not the source. You were treating the river when the problem was always the dam. And third, you're going to leave tonight with 3 specific practices, ancient in origin, immediate in application, things you can do tonight, not in 30 days, not after you've journaled about your childhood for a month. Tonight. These practices come from 3 different indigenous traditions across the Americas, and they work not because they are mystical, though there is something genuinely sacred in them, but because they address the nervous system, the subconscious, and the energy body at the same time, simultaneously, which is something neither traditional therapy nor the secret was ever designed to do. Before we go into the 5 programs, let me read you their names, just the names. And I want you to notice, in your body, not your mind, which one makes something move when you hear it. Money is dangerous. I don't deserve this. Rich people are bad. There's never enough. Money always leaves. One of those landed differently than the others. You might not be certain which yet, but something shifted when I said it. Stay with me, because in the next section, we're going to open each one up completely. And by the time we reach yours, you will know it. One more thing before we continue. Stay through Program 3. I've shared this content with a lot of people, and the majority, by a significant margin, carry Program 3 or Program 5, and they had no idea. Stay through Program 3. Let's begin. Chapter 7. Before we go deeper, you've been with me for 24 minutes, and if you're still here, I want you to notice something about that. Most people don't make it this far. Not because the content isn't relevant to them. It is, deeply. But because their invisible program told them to stop watching about 15 minutes ago. It told them they already knew this. It told them they'd come back to it later. It told them this wasn't quite right for them. And they listened. You didn't. That matters. That's not a small thing. The fact that you're still here means something in you is ready for this. And I want to honor that by giving you exactly what I promised. But before we go into the 5 programs, I want to say one thing. Everything you're about to hear, every program, every pattern, every origin story, I want you to receive it without judgment, not of yourself, and not of the people who may have passed these patterns on to you. They didn't install these programs on purpose. They were running their own programs, passed down from their own parents, from generations of people who were just trying to survive in circumstances that were genuinely hard. This isn't about blame. It's about seeing clearly. Because you can't deactivate something you refuse to look at. So for the next 30 minutes, I'm asking you to just look. That's all. Just look. If you want to go deeper after tonight, if you want the full 21-day deactivation calendar, the journaling prompts for each program, and the extended Ayni practice guide, subscribe and check the pinned comment. Everything is there waiting for you. Now let's find your program. Chapter 8, Program 1, Money is Dangerous. The first invisible program sounds like this inside your head. Spend it before something goes wrong. Get rid of it before someone takes it. Having money makes you a target. Don't let anyone know what you have. You didn't choose to think this way. You absorbed it. This program almost always originates in a home where money was connected to conflict, to stress, or to crisis. Maybe money was something your parents fought about constantly. Maybe when money arrived, it was followed, reliably, by something going wrong. A bill that came out of nowhere. A family emergency. An argument that shook the house. Over time, your nervous system made a connection that felt completely logical, given your evidence. Money arriving means danger is coming. And the fastest way to avoid the danger is to get rid of the money before the danger can find you. So you spend, not recklessly, necessarily, not on anything you can even fully account for later. It just disappears. You check your account 2 weeks after a good month, and you genuinely cannot explain where it went. You lose things. You forget bills. You make financial decisions that, when you look at them from the outside, seem almost designed to keep you exactly where you are. And the cruel irony is that you're working, you're trying, you're doing everything right, and it still vanishes. Because the program isn't in your strategy, it's in your nervous system. And your nervous system is faster than your strategy every single time. Here is a story. There was a person who received a performance bonus at work, $5,000, more than they'd ever received at once. They weren't irresponsible. They didn't go on a shopping spree. They didn't make any single bad decision. And yet 14 days later, the money was gone. When they tried to reconstruct where it went, they couldn't. A few hundred here, a few hundred there. Things that felt reasonable in the moment. Necessary, even. What they didn't see was that their nervous system had been in a low-grade state of emergency from the moment the money arrived, and it had been finding quiet, plausible ways to restore the familiar feeling of having nothing. Because nothing, to their nervous system, was safe. Something was not. If you've ever made money and lost it, not to one catastrophic decision, but to a quiet, unexplainable leak, you may be running Program 1. Chapter 9, Program 2, I Don't Deserve This. The second invisible program sounds like this. Who am I to have this much? Someone is going to find out I'm not actually that good. I don't want to seem greedy. I shouldn't want more than I need. Other people need this more than I do. This program is one of the most painful ones, because it doesn't just block money, it blocks your sense of your own worth. And it is extraordinarily common among people who are genuinely talented, genuinely hardworking, and genuinely good at what they do. It doesn't show up as laziness. It shows up as a subtle, persistent flinch every time you get close to something significant. This program is usually born in an environment where love or approval was conditional, where praise came only when you performed, only when you achieved, only when you were useful, where wanting more attention, more resources, more recognition felt dangerous, because it might mean you were ungrateful or selfish or getting above yourself. You learned very early that the safest way to be loved was to need less, to give more than you took, to make yourself small enough that no one could accuse you of taking up too much space. And that lesson, which may have genuinely protected you as a child, is now running your finances as an adult. It shows up like this. You underprice your services and feel physically uncomfortable when asked to raise your rates. You turn down opportunities that feel too big, too good, too much. You get close to a breakthrough and find a reason, a very reasonable sounding reason, to step back from it. You give your money away compulsively, sometimes before you've taken care of yourself, because giving feels safer than keeping. And when you do receive money, recognition, opportunity, there is a voice that immediately begins cataloging all the reasons you don't quite merit it. That voice is not the truth about you. That voice is a program installed by a world that needed you to stay small. There was a woman who ran a consulting business for 11 years. She was exceptional at what she did. Her clients told her constantly, and for 11 years, she charged less than half of what her peers charged. Peers who, by her own assessment, were not more skilled than she was. Every time she considered raising her rates, she felt nauseous, not anxious, nauseous. Her body was enforcing the program that her mind had inherited from a childhood where wanting more always felt like a moral failing. She wasn't undercharging because she lacked confidence. She was undercharging because somewhere deep in her nervous system, prosperity felt like a betrayal of who she was supposed to be. If you have ever talked yourself out of asking for what you're worth, not because the market wouldn't support it, but because something in you couldn't, you may be running Program 2. Chapter 10, Program 3, Rich People Are Bad. The third invisible program sounds like this. Money corrupts people. Rich people got there by taking advantage of someone. I don't want to become like them. I can be good or I can be wealthy, but I probably can't be both. This is the program that hides behind integrity, and that makes it one of the most difficult to see, because from the outside it looks like values. It looks like principles. It looks like you being a good person who cares about the world. And the values may be real, but underneath them, quietly running alongside them, is a program that has convinced you that the price of financial success is your soul. This program is built from 1,000 small observations. A parent who talked about wealthy neighbors with contempt. Religious teachings that positioned money as something spiritually suspicious. Media that portrayed wealthy characters as villains. Class identity. A sense that people like us don't become people like them, and that if we did, we would no longer be us. All of it fused together into a belief that feels like wisdom, but functions like a ceiling. Because if wealthy people are bad, and you are good, then becoming wealthy would make you bad. And so some part of you, without ever making this decision consciously, decided to stay good by staying broke. Here is how it shows up. You quit, or scale back, or self-sabotage right when your income is about to cross a threshold that feels like too much. You have a complicated relationship with charging people. You feel guilty about receiving. You sometimes resent wealthy people in ways that go beyond critique and into something more personal, more charged. You find comfort in the identity of someone who isn't driven by money, even when that identity is costing you your financial security. And you might read all of this and think, but I genuinely do believe those things about wealthy people, and maybe you do. But beliefs and programs are different things. Beliefs you chose, programs chose you. There was a man who started 3 businesses in 10 years. All 3 showed real promise. All 3, at the exact moment they were ready to scale into something significant, hit a wall. He always had a good reason. The timing wasn't right, the market shifted, his partner wasn't aligned. But the pattern was too consistent to be coincidence. What was actually happening was that each time his business approached a level of success that would have required him to become, in his own mind, one of those people, someone wealthy, someone with real resources, someone whose name other people knew, something in him found a way to make it stop. He wasn't failing. He was enforcing a program that said success at that level was morally off limits for someone like him. If you've ever felt a complicated guilt around wanting financial success, if wealthy feels like a word that carries a faint moral shadow when you apply it to yourself, you may be running Program 3. Chapter 11, Program 4, There's Never Enough. The fourth invisible program sounds like this. I need to get more before it runs out. There isn't enough for everyone. Something bad is coming, and I need to be ready. No matter how much I have, it's never quite enough to feel safe. This one is different from the others. The others push money away. This one hoards it, but in a way that never produces peace. Because the defining feature of Program 4 is that the scarcity never goes away. It doesn't matter how much money arrives. The feeling that there isn't enough, that the floor could drop out at any moment, remains completely unchanged. The bank account grows, and the anxiety doesn't shrink. Because the anxiety was never actually about the money. This program is most often born in real scarcity, a childhood where there genuinely wasn't enough, where money worry was a constant hum in the household, where your parents' stress about bills and expenses was something you absorbed before you had the language to process it. You learned that the world is a place where resources run out, where you have to fight to get your share, where security is always one crisis away from disappearing. And that lesson, which may have been completely accurate to your actual circumstances as a child, became the lens through which your adult brain reads every financial situation, even when the actual circumstances are completely different. It shows up like this. You earn well, but you can never fully enjoy it. You feel a persistent, low-grade financial anxiety that your income level doesn't justify. You check your accounts compulsively, not to manage them, but to reassure yourself, which never quite works. You have difficulty spending even on things that are genuinely necessary. You sometimes make financial decisions that others perceive as stingy, and you know it, and you can't fully explain why. Not because you're greedy, you're not, but because somewhere in your body, spending feels like bleeding. And so you hold on, and you worry, and the money sits there not helping you build the life you want, because the program won't let you trust that it's actually safe to use. There was a couple where one partner earned over $200,000 a year. By any objective measure, they were doing well. And yet both of them, not just one, both, felt financially anxious almost every day. They fought about money constantly, not because they didn't have enough, but because neither of them could feel that they had enough. They had inherited, separately, from two different families, two versions of the same program, and it was running their lives regardless of what the numbers said. The money was there, the feeling of safety was not. If you have ever felt financially anxious in a way that doesn't quite match your actual financial situation, if the worry runs deeper than the math, you may be running Program 4. Chapter 12. Program 5. Money Always Leaves. The fifth invisible program is the quietest one, and in some ways, the most powerful. It sounds like this. Don't get too comfortable. Every time I get ahead, something takes it. It's only a matter of time. People like me don't stay wealthy. This program is different from the others in one important way. It often doesn't feel like a belief at all. It feels like evidence. Because if you carry this program, your financial history will actually show it. Money comes, money goes. You get ahead, something happens. A medical bill, a job loss, a relationship ending, a car, something. And it happens with a consistency that feels almost impossible to dismiss as coincidence. Which is why this program is so hard to break. Because the person carrying it looks at their own life and says, I'm not being irrational. Look at what keeps happening to me. But here is what the ancient wisdom keepers understood, and what modern epigenetics is only beginning to confirm. Patterns travel through families, not just as stories, not just as lessons, but as actual inherited responses encoded in the body, ways of relating to the world that get passed from parent to child, not through conversation, but through something much older and much quieter than that. The Andean tradition of Ayni understood this deeply. They understood that what one generation fails to resolve, the next generation inherits as a pattern, not as punishment, as unfinished business, a loop waiting to be closed. Program 5 is often a family pattern playing out through you. Your parents may have experienced it, their parents before them, a generation that lost everything, to war, to economic collapse, to systemic exclusion from wealth, to circumstances that made financial security genuinely impossible. And the nervous system that survived those circumstances passed on its survival strategy to you. Don't accumulate. Don't get attached. Don't let yourself need the money to be there, because it won't be. And so, without knowing it, you live in a way that confirms the pattern. Not because the pattern is true, but because your nervous system is still preparing for a crisis that may have happened 100 years ago. Here is a story. There was a woman who noticed, in her late 30s, that her financial life moved in almost exactly 18-month cycles. Good stretch, setback, good stretch, setback. The setbacks were always different. Different circumstances, different amounts, different reasons. But the timing was almost identical. When she looked back at her mother's financial history, she saw the same rhythm. When she looked at what she knew of her grandmother's life, she saw it again. 3 generations, running the same loop. The money wasn't leaving because of bad luck. The money was leaving because the family's collective nervous system had decided, at some point in its history, that holding on to money was more dangerous than letting it go. And until that decision was named, examined, and released, it would keep running. If your financial history shows a pattern that feels too consistent to be random, if you've noticed that the floor seems to drop out on a schedule that doesn't depend on your choices, you may be running Program 5, Chapter 13, the one that's running in you. 5 programs, 5 distinct patterns, 5 different ways that the same fundamental mechanism, an invisible program, installed in childhood, running in real time, shows up in a financial life. And now I want to help you find yours. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And with each one, I want you to notice the same thing I've been asking you to notice throughout this video. Not what your mind decides, but what your body does. The body knows, the mind protects. So we're going to go to the body. The first question is this: when money arrives, unexpectedly, or in a larger amount than usual, what is the first impulse? Not the second thought or the considered response. The first impulse. Is it to spend it immediately? That points toward Program 1. Is it to wonder if you really deserved it? That points toward Program 2. Is it a complicated feeling, almost like the money is tainted somehow, or like accepting it means something about you that you're not sure you want to be? That points toward Program 3. Is it to immediately think about what could go wrong, to count it compulsively, to feel like no amount is ever quite enough? That's Program 4. Or is it a quiet, preemptive sense of loss? A kind of knowing that it won't stay, that it never does, that you shouldn't get too attached. That is Program 5. The second question. Think of a moment when you were on the verge of a financial breakthrough, a deal that was almost closed, a raise you almost asked for, a business that was starting to work, a saving goal you were close to hitting. What happened? Did the money arrive and then somehow disappear through a leak you couldn't fully explain? Program 1. Did you talk yourself out of the opportunity at the last minute, or accept less than you'd intended? Program 2. Did the success itself feel threatening somehow, like crossing a line you weren't supposed to cross? Program 3. Did achieving it fail to produce the relief you expected, leaving you anxious and immediately scanning for the next threat? Program 4. Or did something external seem to intervene, reliably, at the exact moment things were about to change? And this has happened not once, but in a pattern across your life. Program 5. The third question, and this is the most important one. When I read the names of the 5 programs earlier, one of them made something happen in you. You might have told yourself it was just recognition, or just interest. But there was one that landed differently. One that felt a little more personal than the others. One where you thought, even briefly, that sounds like something I've actually said to myself. That's yours. The mind will want to debate this. The mind will want to be sure, to analyze, to consider all 5 objectively, and make a rational selection. That's the program protecting itself. The one that landed. You already know which one it is. Here is what I want you to hold as we move into the next section. Whatever program you've identified, I need you to understand one thing clearly. You did not choose this. It was not a character flaw. It was not a spiritual failing. It was a survival strategy, one that made complete sense in the context in which it was created. A child in a home where money meant conflict needed to learn to fear money. A child in a home where love was conditional needed to learn to make themselves small. A child who inherited an ancestral pattern of financial loss needed to learn not to expect money to stay. These programs were not mistakes. They were adaptations. They kept someone safe at a time when safety was genuinely at stake. But you are not that child anymore. And the adaptation that protected you then is limiting you now, and it can be changed. The ancient keepers of the Americas understood something that we have spent generations forgetting: that the patterns we carry are not permanent, that energy that has been closed can be opened, that what one generation inherited as a wound, another can release as a teaching, that the point is not to erase the past, but to complete it, to give it an ending that the people who came before you never got to have. Tonight, you get to begin that ending, and the 3 practices we're going into next are exactly how you do it. Chapter 14, Why 3 Rituals, and why they work for all 5 programs. Before I give you these 3 practices, I need to explain something, because I know what some of you are thinking right now. You've identified your program, you understand where it came from, and you're ready for the solution. But the solution I'm about to give you is going to look different from what you expect. It isn't going to be a mindset shift. It isn't going to be a journaling prompt, or a new morning routine, or a better relationship with your budget. It's going to be older than all of that. And I need you to understand why, so that when you do it fully, and not with the half-presence of someone who isn't quite sure they believe in what they're doing. Here is the thing that the secret got right. Energy is real. The state you carry in your body, the frequency of your nervous system, the quality of your attention, the openness or closedness of your relationship to receiving. This affects everything. It affects what you notice, what you say yes to, what you unconsciously avoid, what finds you, and what doesn't. The ancient peoples of the Americas understood this not as metaphor, but as literal, observable, natural law. The same way a river can be blocked by 3 different things: a fallen tree, a dam, a drought. The flow of abundance in a human life can be blocked at 3 different levels simultaneously. And you have to clear all 3. Not one, all 3. The Nahua tradition understood the first block, Teotl, the life energy, becoming knotted and stagnant around old fear and inherited pattern. That's what Ritual 1 addresses. The Andean tradition of Ayni understood the second block, the law of sacred reciprocity, becoming distorted, so that giving and receiving fall out of balance, and the channel between you and abundance closes. That's what Ritual 2 addresses. The Hawaiian tradition understood the third block, mana, your life force, becoming depleted by the constant effort of living in opposition to your own nature, leaving you without the vitality to recognize and receive what's coming. That's what Ritual 3 addresses. 5 different programs, 3 different blocks, 3 different practices, and together, they address something that budgeting apps and vision boards and positive affirmations were never built to touch. If this is already making more sense than anything you've tried before, hit like on this video. It helps more people find their way here. Now let's begin. Chapter 15, The Teotl Clearing. Release what was never yours to carry. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Daniel. Daniel was a freelance designer, genuinely talented, consistently working. And every time he got close to a financial milestone, every time the month looked like it was going to end with real surplus, something happened. Not always dramatic. A client delayed payment, an unexpected expense, a piece of equipment that needed replacing. He'd been carrying Program 5, Money Always Leaves, without knowing it. And he'd been carrying it because his father had carried it, and his father's father before that. 3 generations of men who worked hard and never quite got ahead. When Daniel did his first Teotl clearing, he told me afterward that he hadn't expected to feel anything. He was doing it because he had nothing to lose. Halfway through, he started crying. Not from sadness, he said, from recognition. Like meeting something he'd been carrying so long he'd forgotten it wasn't him. Within the following month, 2 clients came back unprompted with project requests. The money that came wasn't different in amount, but Daniel's relationship to it was. He didn't spend it before it could be taken. He let it stay. The Nahua understanding of Teotl teaches that energy doesn't disappear, it transforms. And when painful or fearful energy around money isn't released, it doesn't go away. It condenses. It becomes a knot in the field. And that knot is what we're clearing tonight. This practice takes 5 minutes. You can do it right now, or you can do it tonight before you sleep. What you need, something to write with, something to write on, and either a candle, a bowl of water, or access to the outdoors. Here is what you do. You write down your program, not a summary, the actual voice of it, the sentence it has been saying inside you. If you carry program 1, you write, "Money is dangerous, and I need to get rid of it before something goes wrong." If you carry program 2, you write, "I don't deserve more than I already have." Program 3, "If I become wealthy, I become someone I don't respect." Program 4, "No matter how much I have, it will never be enough, and something will take it." Program 5, "Money always leaves, and I've already accepted that." Write it in your own words. Write it as the voice it actually speaks in, not the cleaned up version. This matters. The Teotl clearing works on truth, not on what sounds acceptable. Then you read it out loud, once, to yourself, in whatever space you're in. You say it as a statement of what has been, not as a statement of what is permanent. You say it the way you would read a letter you received from someone you've now grown beyond. This is what I was told. This is what I believed. This is what I have been carrying. Then you release it. If you have a candle, hold the paper in your hand and affirm aloud, "I return this to the fire. I release what was never mine to carry." If you have a bowl of water, place your hands in the water and let the statement dissolve. If you have access to the outdoors, find a piece of earth, even a patch of grass, and press your palms flat against it. The Nahua understood the earth as the ultimate alchemist. What you give to her, she transforms. You don't need to feel certain this is working. You don't need to believe in any particular cosmology. What you need is to do it fully, without irony, without keeping one foot out the door. The nervous system responds to completion. When you complete this act, when you write it, say it, and release it, you are giving your subconscious a signal it has never received before. The signal that says, "This chapter is over. We don't need to keep running this anymore. Do this once. Then do it again in 7 days. And on the night you do it the second time, notice what has shifted in the week between." The shift won't always be dramatic. It might be that you said yes to something you would normally have quietly avoided. It might be that money arrived and you felt calm instead of tense. It might be that you looked at your account and didn't immediately start calculating how quickly it would disappear. These are not small things. These are the first cracks in a program that has been running your financial life since before you knew it existed. Chapter 16, The Ayni Practice. Restore the sacred balance of giving and receiving. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Renata. Renata ran a small business selling handmade ceramics. She was generous to a fault, always the first to offer a discount, always giving pieces away, always finding reasons why this person deserved the lower price or the free thing. She was running program 2, and her generosity, which was real and genuine and beautiful, had become the mechanism through which her program expressed itself. Giving felt safe. Receiving felt dangerous. So she gave and gave and gave, and her business stayed exactly at the edge of sustainable, never quite failing, never quite thriving. When Renata began the Ayni practice, the first thing she noticed wasn't that she started receiving more. It was that she started giving differently, with more intention, with clearer awareness of what she was offering and why. And within 6 weeks, for the first time in 3 years, she raised her prices. not because someone told her to, but because the practice had quietly begun to restore something in her, an understanding that the circuit between giving and receiving only works when both directions are open. She couldn't keep pouring out and expecting anything to remain. The Andean concept of Ayni, sacred reciprocity, is not about transactional exchange. It is not, I give this, so I receive that. It is something older and more fundamental than that. It is the understanding that the universe operates as a living circuit, that every act of genuine giving creates an opening, and every opening, if it is not closed by fear or unworthiness, allows something to return. The block that most invisible programs create in this circuit is subtle, but total. Program 1 closes the receiving end by spending compulsively. Program 2 closes it by giving away more than it receives, in a constant unconscious act of self-erasure. Program 3 closes it by attaching a moral penalty to receiving at all. Program 4 closes it by receiving, but immediately converting everything into anxiety. Program 5 closes it by preemptively mourning everything that arrives. The Ayni practice doesn't try to force the circuit open. It restores it, slowly, gently, the way water finds its own level. Here is what you do. For 7 days, you perform one intentional act of giving each day, not the giving you already do by default. Intentional giving, chosen, conscious, offered with full awareness. It does not need to be money. It can be time, attention, skill, knowledge, food, or care. What matters is that you do it deliberately, and that when you do it, you say these words, silently or aloud. It doesn't matter. I give this freely, and I open myself to receive in return. That second half is the part most people skip, because that second half is where the resistance lives. Saying I open myself to receive is, for someone running an invisible program, one of the most difficult sentences in the English language. The program will want to leave it out. Say it anyway. On day 7, you add something. You receive something intentionally. It doesn't matter how small. A compliment, a gift, an offer of help. Something that in ordinary life you would deflect or minimize. You receive it fully. You say thank you, without qualification. Without the addition of, oh, it was nothing, or you didn't have to, or I'm sure you'll find someone better. You just say thank you, and you let it land. That moment, that full, undefended receiving, is the completion of the Ayni circuit. And once you feel it, even once, you begin to understand what you have been blocking, and why, and at what cost. If you want the full 7-day Ayni guide with daily prompts for each of the 5 programs, subscribe and check the pinned comment. It's there for you. Everything you need to take this deeper is waiting for you there. Chapter 17. The Mana Reset. Reclaim the life force that makes you magnetic. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Theo. Theo was exhausted, not from laziness. He worked constantly, but from the specific kind of exhaustion that comes from spending years living in low-grade financial fear. Checking accounts, running numbers, lying awake at 3 a.m. calculating scenarios. He was running Program 4. And while the anxiety never made his situation worse in any concrete way, it was consuming something. Not his money, his capacity. His nervous system was permanently on guard, permanently scanning for threat, permanently using a significant portion of its available energy to manage fear that had no productive outlet. When Theo started the Mana Reset each morning, the first thing he reported was that he felt stupid doing it. The second thing he reported, 2 weeks later, was that he had noticed an opportunity at work, a project, a connection, a possibility, that he was fairly certain had been there before. He just hadn't seen it. His nervous system had been too busy managing threat to notice anything that looked like possibility. The Mana Reset didn't give Theo more money. It gave him back the bandwidth to see what was already there. The Hawaiian understanding of mana is this. Every human being is born with a specific life force, a spiritual vitality that determines not just physical energy, but perceptual clarity. The quality of what you can notice, the openness of your reception, the naturalness of your authority in a room. When mana is full, you move through the world with a quality that others feel, without being able to name it. Opportunities seem to find you. People want to work with you. The right things arrive at the right time. When mana is depleted, by chronic fear, by constant striving against the grain of your own nature, by years of living with an invisible program running in the background consuming your energy, the opposite is true. Not because the universe has withdrawn its favor, but because you no longer have the receptive capacity to recognize and receive what's available. The mana reset is a 4-minute morning practice. It is not meditation in the traditional sense. It is not breathwork in the clinical sense. It is closer to what the old traditions called a reclamation, a daily act of returning to yourself before the world has had a chance to pull you away from yourself. Here is how it works. You do this before you look at your phone, before you check your messages or your accounts or your email, before you let anything from the outside world in. You sit or stand somewhere quiet. You place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. You take 3 slow breaths, not forced, not counted, just slow. And with each exhale you say internally, I am here, I am enough, I am open. These are not affirmations in the conventional sense. They are not positive statements designed to override negative ones. They are orientations. I am here means, I am present in this moment, not in the future I'm afraid of, or the past I'm still carrying. I am enough means, I do not need to earn my right to receive today. I am open means, I am not braced for what's coming. I am available to it. After the 3 breaths, you spend 90 seconds in deliberate stillness, not thinking, not planning, not reviewing, just being in your body, in the space before the day begins. The ancient Hawaiians understood that mana is renewed in stillness, not in sleep, in conscious, intentional stillness, the kind where you are awake and present and asking nothing of yourself or the world. In the final 30 seconds, you bring to mind one thing you are genuinely grateful for, not from a list, not from a practice, but something real, something that produces an actual physical sensation when you think of it. Gratitude, the Hawaiian tradition understood, is not a feeling, it is a frequency. And when you access it genuinely, even briefly, even imperfectly, it raises the overall vibration of your nervous system in a way that makes you literally more capable of perceiving and receiving abundance. Do this every morning for 21 days, not because 21 days is a magic number, but because 21 days is long enough for a new pattern to begin to feel more natural than the old one, and the old one has had years of practice. Give the new one a chance. 3 practices, 1 for the energy that's been knotted, 1 for the flow that's been closed, 1 for the life force that's been depleted. Used together over 21 days, they address your invisible program at the level where it actually lives, not in your thinking mind, but in your body, your nervous system, your inherited patterns of relating to the world. This is where the ancient traditions were always working. This is what the secret was pointing at, imprecisely and incompletely, when it talked about vibration and alignment. And this is where your financial life will actually begin to change. Chapter 18, the 21-day map. You now have everything you need. I want to say that clearly, because the invisible program will try to convince you otherwise. It will tell you that you need more information, more context, more preparation, more certainty before you begin. That is the program talking. What you have right now, the name of your program, the understanding of where it came from, and 3 specific practices, is more than enough to begin changing your financial life. Not someday, starting tonight. Here is how the 21 days work. Not because 21 is a number with any particular mystical significance, but because the research on habit formation and neurological repatterning tells us consistently that 3 weeks of daily practice is the minimum threshold at which a new neural pathway begins to feel more natural than the old one. And the old pathway has had years, maybe decades, of reinforcement. It is deeply grooved. Give the new one 21 days before you decide whether it's working. Week 1 is for the Teotl clearing. Every evening before sleep, you return to your program statement. You don't need to rewrite it each time, though you can if new language wants to come through. What matters is the act of naming it, speaking it, and releasing it. Every single night for 7 nights. Not because one time isn't enough, but because the program was installed through repetition, and it will be released through repetition. The Nahua understood that transformation is not a single moment of revelation. It is a sustained act of return. You return to the clearing every night, and every night you release a little more of what was never yours to carry. Week 2 is for the Ayni practice. Each morning before your phone, before your obligations, before the day makes its first demand of you, one intentional act of giving, followed by one intentional act of opening to receive. 7 days. The giving will feel natural fairly quickly. The receiving will feel uncomfortable longer than you expect. Stay with the discomfort. The discomfort is the program being stretched. That is exactly what is supposed to happen. Week 3 is for the mana reset. 4 minutes every morning, every day for 7 days. You are here. You are enough. You are open. 90 seconds of stillness. 30 seconds of genuine gratitude. You will feel the difference by day 4. Not dramatically, subtly. The way you feel the difference when you've been sleeping well for a week versus sleeping badly. Something in the quality of your perception shifts, and you can't always name it, but you know it's there. By day 21, you will have given your nervous system 3 full weeks of a different experience. Not a different belief, a different experience. And the body learns through experience in a way it never learns through information alone. Chapter 19. How you'll know it's working. People always want to know what the money shift will look like. They want a number, a timeline, a specific and measurable outcome they can point to and say, that is evidence that this worked. And I understand that. But I want to prepare you for something. The first signs that your invisible program is deactivating will almost certainly not be financial. They will be subtler than that, and they will come first from your body, not your bank account. The first sign is a change in how money feels when it arrives. Not that more of it arrives, that it feels different when it does. Calmer, more neutral, less loaded with the old subtext, the spending urge, the unworthiness, the preemptive grief, the moral complication, the scarcity alarm. If you carry Program 1 and you notice that a deposit lands in your account, and your first impulse isn't to spend it immediately, that is the program loosening. If you carry Program 2 and someone offers you something and you receive it without immediately explaining why you don't quite deserve it, that is the program loosening. These moments feel small. They are not small. The second sign is a change in what you notice. Opportunities that were invisible before begin to appear. Not because they're new, but because your nervous system is no longer spending all its energy managing the invisible program. When the background program quiets, bandwidth returns. And with that bandwidth comes perception. You start to see things that were always there, but that your threat-saturated nervous system had no capacity to register as relevant. The project, the connection, the moment to speak up, the door that was always open, but that you kept walking past because some part of you had already decided it wasn't for you. The third sign, and this one is important, is that your language around money changes before your circumstances do. You will catch yourself saying things differently, not performing positivity, actually speaking differently about your financial life, with less fatalism, less preemptive defeat, less of the resignation that has been living in your sentences for longer than you knew. The ancient traditions understood this long before linguistics confirmed it. Language is not just description. Language is creation. When the program changes, the language changes. And when the language changes, the world it creates begins to change too. The money follows the energy. It always has. The energy shifts first. Chapter 20. The Ancient Commitment. We are almost at the end, and I want to close tonight in the way the ancient traditions closed every ceremony of transformation, not with a summary, not with a list of action steps, but with a commitment, a spoken, embodied, witnessed commitment. Because the traditions that have survived thousands of years understood something that our productivity culture has almost entirely forgotten, that words spoken with full intention, in a state of genuine presence, carry weight that silent decisions never do. They land differently. They are remembered differently. By you, and by something larger than you. So I'm going to ask you to do something. And I want to ask you to do it fully, not halfway. Not with one part of you engaged and another part already scrolling ahead to whatever comes next in your evening. If you're driving, you can do this with your eyes open and your hands on the wheel. It doesn't require stillness of body. It requires stillness of attention. If you're somewhere you can close your eyes, close them. Place one hand on your chest. Feel the warmth of your own hand against your own body. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. You have been carrying something for a very long time. Tonight you named it. Tonight you looked at it fully. That alone is more than most people will ever do. And now you're going to say goodbye to it. When you're ready, repeat these words. Say them out loud if you can. The voice matters. The sound matters. The act of your own voice speaking these words into the air around you matters, in a way that reading them silently does not. The first sentence is this: I release what was given to me without my permission. Say it slowly. Mean it. Let it take the full space it deserves. You are not releasing a belief. You are releasing a program that was handed to you before you had the ability to question it, by people who were handing you what they themselves had been handed. You didn't choose it, and now, for the first time, you are choosing not to carry it anymore. The second sentence: I open to receive what has always been mine. This one will feel more vulnerable than the first. The first is about releasing something. The second is about allowing something. And allowing has always been harder than releasing, for people who carry invisible programs. The program will try to put a qualifier in here. A yes, but. A if I deserve it. A when the timing is right. There is no qualifier. Say it without one. I open to receive what has always been mine. Let that be the complete sentence. The third sentence: I become the channel, not the container. This is the teaching that sits at the heart of every indigenous tradition across the Americas. Money, abundance, prosperity. These were never meant to be accumulated and hoarded and held behind closed doors. They were meant to move. Through you, through your community, through the world. You are not the destination of abundance. You are the means by which it travels. When you stop trying to contain it and start becoming a clear channel for it, when you stop blocking it with fear and unworthiness and moral confusion and ancestral grief, it moves freely toward you and through you and into the lives of the people around you. That is what the ancient traditions called true wealth, not a number in an account, a life through which abundance flows without obstruction. Take a breath. However you feel right now, whether something moved in you or whether you feel uncertain, or whether you feel, honestly, a little strange doing this, you did it. You said the words. You made the commitment. And the part of you that needed to hear those words has heard them. The elders across this land knew something about you before you were born. They knew that one day, someone would sit where you are sitting, would carry what you have been carrying, and would be ready to put it down. Tonight, you are that person. And tonight, you put it down. Chapter 21. What comes next? Drop a comment below with your program number 1 through 5. I read every single one. I want to know which one you've been carrying. And I want you to see, when you scroll through the comments, how many other people have been carrying the same thing. Silently, alone, convinced that something was wrong with them specifically. Nothing was wrong with you. You were running a program, and now you know how to change it. If tonight gave you something, subscribe. Not for me, for you. Because what we covered tonight is one layer of a much deeper system. Next week, I'm going into program 5 alone, the one that doesn't just affect you, the one that travels through families across generations, the one that can carry the financial grief of people who died 100 years before you were born and run it through your life as if it were your own. There is one ancient practice, drawn from the Andean tradition of Ayni, that can begin to break a pattern like that in 7 days. Not heal it completely, begin to break it, and sometimes beginning to break it is the thing that changes everything. I will see you then.